we overthinking it? Is it really that deep? Today, we're talking about the Vancouver Canucks and their third overall pick at the 2026 NHL Entry Draft. Make no mistake, we have already gone over all the names, all the hypotheticals. There are 2 picks made above Vancouver, which means one of McKenna, Stenberg, Malhotra, or Chase Reed will be available. By all accounts, the Canucks are interested in all of them. However, today we're talking about the idea of the Vancouver Canucks actually trading up in the 2026 draft, particularly from 3 all the way to 2. Today, we're talking about Ivar Stenberg, because, quite frankly, Stenberg has been really darn good at the World Championship so far. He's got 2 assists in 2 games played, but as some of the highlights would go out there and suggest, the guy could have had a lot more. Grav went out there and posted this earlier this morning. Stenberg, 41, has been dealing at the Worlds versus Denmark. He has 2 assists. He could have easily had more. Unfortunately, he didn't score any points against Team Canada in Sweden's 5-3 loss on Friday. But Stenberg has been playing a lot. He has been looking great. And you have Sean Bowie, who went out there and tweeted this. Hey, Dave Hall, I've been thinking a lot about your notion that the Canucks should seriously consider trying to move up. To which Hall, who does prospect work for Canucks Army, responded this. For me, it's hardly even a debate. That call should be the first order of business. We can throw around hypotheticals about what it would cost to move up 1 spot from 3 to 2, but even if it costs a pair of additional picks, landing one of the potential stars in this draft is well worth the gamble compared to the swings you're taking in the 40s, 50s, or 60s. I am typically an accumulate as many darts as possible guy, but when your organization lacks star power across the board, you swing for it. And Ivar Stenberg is worth the price of admission for me. Now, he actually made an article about this. Hall wrote this back on May 12th, 2026 on Canucks Army, making the case for the Canucks to trade up for the 2nd overall draft pick. And no, this wouldn't be a let's have number 2 and number 3 type of scenario to have the Sedins go and do the picks themselves in the same way that they were selected 27 years ago type of thing. Hall is straight up writing, while the 3rd overall pick still represents a premium asset, the result dramatically altered the organization's level of control near the top of the board. In a draft class widely viewed as having a clear upper tier, Vancouver is no longer guaranteed access to a player who most believe can immediately change the franchise's direction. If they take a Reed, if they take a Malhotra, I would probably say that the general consensus amongst the public is that these guys are not as good as an Ivar Stenberg, or at least they don't have the upper ceiling of an Ivar Stenberg. Okay, Chase Reed might, but the likelihood of him reaching it is lower. Anyways, Hall goes out there and writes here, instead of sporting a smooth runway to the draft podium, more debate must be had as to where to go from here. Do the Canucks stay patient and simply select whichever player falls to them at 3rd, or does management aggressively explore ways to regain control of the draft and select one of the draft's 2 premium options? It's no secret that the Canucks could use a pinch of everything, and the focus should be on accumulating enough picks to throw as many darts as possible. But it's just as important to land major difference makers for the future, especially up front. While this draft may contain a few hits later on, there appear to be just 2 names that get you as close to guaranteed in that area, both of whom slide out of contention past the number 2 spot. At the end of the day, draft day trades that include a top 5 pick are extremely rare, but that's not to say it can't happen with the right circumstances. Now, there actually is an argument as to why San Jose would do it, and quite frankly, it happens to do with the fact that they have so many forwards already. We've mentioned this a number of times, but between Macklin Celebrini, Will Smith, William Eklund, Michael Misa, Chernyshov and all the other young dudes they have up front, San Jose's already kind of loaded when it comes to forward talent. They don't need centers and they don't need wingers. They need D. So trading from 2 to 3 is not that bad of a deal because one of Chase Reed or a Verhoff is still going to be available at number 3, most likely. Now, if you wanted to make the pitch that Vancouver should send over Filip Hronek and a draft pick for 2nd overall, I would actually be more inclined to do that. Make the team worse in the short term by trading away Phil, get number 2 and number 3, and then walk out of the draft with Stenberg and Malhotra. That sounds like a great idea in my opinion, but of course that's an entire debate for another day. In fact, it's already been noted that apparently the Vancouver Canucks, they have Malhotra at number 2, so if you wanted to dive into where exactly Vancouver would go if they were to get that 2nd overall draft pick, I mean, it seems like Malhotra is number 2, courtesy of Rick Dhaliwal and Halford and Bruff 2 days ago. This would be kind of scary, honestly, thinking about the Vancouver Canucks trading up to number 2 only to select Caleb Malhotra in that spot. I mean, if you're super confident that that is your guy, and that he will be the next best available option past Gavin McKenna, assuming McKenna goes number 1, then okay, but we're going to have to take a few years to digest that draft pick and fully see if it was worth it to make it 2nd overall. I would say if the Vancouver Canucks wanted to become instant fan favorites, you trade up to number 2, and then you just take Stenberg, the guy that people said could have been a 1st overall talent multiple months ago. Either that, or you just stay put at number 3, and you see if Stenberg falls into your lap because maybe San Jose reaches and they take a Reed or a Verhoff at 2nd. It wouldn't be the first time we have seen a team go off the board and take a defenseman just because they need a defenseman at 2nd overall. This guy, Simon Nemec, he wasn't supposed to go 2nd. He was ranked in the 6, 4, 5 range, but he went number 2 because New Jersey said, hey, we don't need Shane Wright, we don't need Logan Cooley, we already have Jack Hughes and Nico Hischier, we need a D, so we'll take Nemec, and they did that 2nd overall. Can San Jose do the same thing and open up the possibility of Stenberg to Vancouver at number 3? Either that, or the Vancouver Canucks take Caleb Malhotra at number 3 because they have him as high as number 2 on their own draft board and they need a center. I don't know. And honestly, I still have my reservations as to how far the Canucks will need to take their center depth. They already have Rossi and Pettersson. You have Coots. You have Atu Ratu. I mean, you can debate that with Rossi, Petey, Coots already, that's a good 3 heading into the long-term future. Do you really need another center? I mean, I get it. You can be getting a top-tier guy, adding him at the very top, and that could be a bona fide positive add, but I don't know if Caleb Malhotra is necessarily that guy. Malhotra, to me, is more of a Bo Horvat type, and if we think about it in that lens, I don't know if he has that upper edge ceiling to being a number 1 guy at the NHL level. I know he produced a lot of points. He's been doing very well, but I'm just skeptical that Caleb Malhotra has that ceiling at this point. Stenberg, I think, has a very, very high ceiling comparative to Malhotra, even though he is a winger. But you can let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How does all this conversation make you feel? Do you think the Canucks should trade up to the 2nd overall San Jose pick to take Ivar Stenberg? Is it worth it in your opinion? Let me know in the comments all your opinions. I hope you enjoyed this video. 99 and bye.